Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and my friends, Bedman, long awaited now, is now out in Guilty Gear Strive. And I figured I'd give you just some early impressions on the character. Not necessarily a full guide or anything just yet, but just some of the things I think that are kind of cool about Bedman. So just out of the gate here, the design is fantastic. Bedman looking all rickety. I do like to... He is a character when Bedman walks, the stage shakes, and I'm always a fan of that no matter what game we get it in, because it means Bedman is a big boy and also suffers from some of the issues of big boys, as we'll go over in a moment here. But I do like that, and the animations been changed up quite a bit, so it's not just reusing all the animations from Exard Bedman as well. So, like, say, cortical forward heavy slash. When he's attempting to use the broken arm, it just explodes because it's broken. Or things like the new dust. Like it's literally bed springs coming out of the bed, which I think is actually pretty sick. But for just some of the basic stuff, like normals, like stuff like stand slash seems to have really good range. That seems really nice and abusable. To say there's easy hit confirms would be an understatement, because crouch heavy slash is many hits. So if you can get something basic going off with like slash slash or slash crouch slash, easy do into crouch heavy slash, and then easy do into whatever special. And then we enter our error state, which is something I want to talk about here. So Bedman has 3 core special moves. Cortical forward punch, which is a projectile, and the air follow-up is a lightning bolt. Cortical slash, which is just a big old spin. The air follow-up is a giant explosion. And cortical forward heavy slash, which is just big old slam, and the air follow-up is his head popping off and exploding. So when we watched the original like how-to Bedman trailer that came out a little bit ago, I don't know, the video made it seem like needlessly complex perhaps, but it's actually very easy, very generous. It's literally just fire and forget. You do your special, and after a few seconds, the secondary follow-up happens. And it doesn't really care where you are, what you're doing. Like, if you happen to be up in the air, it'll happen in the air, whatever, it's no bigs. And the 2 moves that can alter the timings, they're both super simple. Cortical back punch, cortical back kick. If you do cortical back punch, whatever your follow-up is, it just happens automatically, immediately, regardless of what it may be. It just does it on the spot. And if you do cortical back kick, all it does, it just resets the timing. So if it's about to go off, it just resets it back to 0. So if you feel so inclined to delay it, you're good to go. Although one thing to note, whatever special you do automatically overwrites whatever the last error follow-up is. So if I do the spin follow-up will happen next over, say, the projectile one. Projectile, by the way, I think is actually pretty okay, because it does have a decent amount of automatic tracking. Like, you do not have to think about it. And also, that is both for the base projectile and for the follow-up. They both track. So if you want to use it as like projectiles in the air or whatever, or on the ground, or it seems pretty good. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out. But as far as projectiles go, man, this seems like a really solid one, all things considered. And the fact that it has the follow-up too. Now, on the note with the follow-ups, as I'm recording this is day 1, so we'll figure out a lot more tech in time. But you can definitely get very creative with it. So say the cortical forward heavy punch. So the follow-up for that is his head popping off and being a bomb, right? You can actually use this to get extra damage off throws, for example. Like right there. It's not a lot of extra damage, but it is extra damage. Now here's the beauty of it. It's all about the timing. So yes, if I like just do it and go for the throw right away, like it'll explode, bop them, and just get a little bit extra damage as it sends them on their way. But with the timing being perfect and correct... Now here, look at this. Ooh, that didn't knock him away that time. It knocked him straight up. And I know you can put 2 and 2 together on this bad boy. If we can pop him straight up, well, geez Louise, can't we get follow-ups? And sure as sugar we can. Now, it being after a throw, it does scale the damage somewhat, but it lets you get a lot better basic throw than just about everyone else. Because you can get extra damage, extra corner carry, all that fun stuff. So almost like Bedman the Grappler, because given the time, I'm sure we'll have proper setups and everything, and then we can get all sorts of fancy post-throw follow-ups into full combos, wall carry, maybe wall breaks. World's your oyster. Like, just for a very basic example here. If we happen to be in the corner here, we can get a splat, guaranteed. Get a break. Oh, that's a good solid 40-ish%, right? So, and that's off a basic throw. We didn't spend any meter. We didn't do anything fancy, so it seems pretty okay. And by the way, this stage, the new stage, it's also really sick. It's really good. There's also a lot of other fun combo techniques and potential with the follow-ups and combos. So it could just be as easy as like you're running in, you already got the stuff ready to go, and then it'll combo after the fact. Sometimes I think that might be easy to set up. Sometimes it might be a little bit more difficult. Guess I gotta wait and see. But just an idea of like a perfectly normal starter and what you can get off of it. We can almost go corner to corner. Thanks to his spin. The follow-up from the spin is the big old explosion. And with that, if we have some meter to Roman cancel, we can go almost corner to corner. So basic hit confirm, and we'll go into spin. And from the spin, we're going to Roman cancel, and then that explosion will happen and during the combo naturally without us doing any additional input, and we'll do what we got to do. So, maybe not the most optimal combo out of the gate, right? But it's something, just to get the gears turning, as it were. You can definitely get very inventive with a lot of these follow-ups. So, besides the whole oddness of the whole air system and all of its follow-ups, which is very unique and cool, and I like it a lot, Bedman still has the unique air movement as well. So, one thing to note here, Bedman does not have a traditional double jump. So keep that in mind. Also, if Delilah is nearby, Bedman will pick up Delilah while he's jumping, which I think is really cool. It like changes nothing other than just the animation, but it's actually kind of sick. So no regular jump. There is a super jump, although it doesn't seem that great. So what you gotta do here is dash when you jump, and you'll be in standby mode, basically. Just kind of sit in the air. And then once you're in standby mode, pick a direction, and you'll go in that direction. Can be up, can be down, and more importantly for Bedman, can be down forward. So it can give you some very tricky offense. Basically, what we would call, like, say, triangle jumps in Marvel vs. Capcom or Versus games. So it can be in the air, jump forward in the air, and instead of just air dashing across, which you can still do just fine, don't keep that in mind. And also, jump heavy slash seems like a very strong jumping button, like multi-hits, very easy hit confirms, all that kind of stuff. Like, if you got it, follow-ups are very easy, right? But yeah, so you can jump forward and then immediately enter the state and then immediately go down forward. And if you happen to be quite quick, it can create some very annoying aerial offense that a lot of characters can't necessarily put out in the same way. So it's definitely something to practice around with, especially because Jump Punch is a pretty good jump-in button as well. And while we're on the jump note, Jump Dust is also a very easy kind of fake cross-up. You can be a little ambiguous with it because it does carry a fair bit of momentum while traveling forward. So which side is it going to be? You can just make it nice and fun and tricky. So overall, Bedman, I think, is very interesting. It has a lot of potential. Even some things that I just wasn't sold on immediately, like the buff, where it changes the air effects to have new properties, which is cool in and of itself. But then I realized stuff like the big overhead, right? You can't really do too much off the big overhead that's like safe in any way. However, you can go into the buff super from the big overhead, be nice and safe, and then go for stuff after the fact. That's cool. Also, if we do the old-fashioned jump test here, this is extraordinarily plus on block. You get a nice little advantage over the enemy versus just committing, so that's always nice if it gets blocked, right? And speaking of plus on block as well, Corsica Forward Heavy Slash is actually quite plus on block, which is nice. Like, there's no fancy tricks, nothing, like, you just do it and you're plus. So, if you got a block string going on, you want to keep your turn, this is going to be a good way to do it, although the move is slower and people can mash through it, so watch out for that. Also, it has, like, a lot of active frames. So just after any knockdown, just like quick dash up, do it. You'll hit him at the very tail end of it and be like ridiculously plus on block, like right there. But yeah, just really interesting character. Compared to Sin, who was our last character, Sin, I'm not gonna lie, Sin's not my favorite character. He just seemed very plain Jane, like vanilla Rushdown. And you know what? If you like that, you like that. That's not a problem. But I like either a bit more involved stuff or characters that are big and do stupid stuff. And guess what? This character is both pretty involved and also big and can do very big, stupid stuff. So it works out on both angles. So I guess just one thing to close out on. I mentioned Bedman being big several times, and that's an issue. If you remember some old Giovanna tech, you probably know where I'm going with this here. But Giovanna can do the combo to Bedman. As in, she can combo him on the way up and on the way down. So basically, you can expect this kind of stupid stuff if you're fighting against a proficient Giovanna player. So, something like that, right? Any counter hit, stand heavy slash could lead to that on the, say, like a Gold Lewis or a Potemkin. So it's going to be much the same for poor old Bedman, looks like. That unfortunateness aside, though, Bedman is actually really cool, really unique, and I think will be a credit to the game. Now, for tier placements, all that kind of stuff, it's way too early to talk. Although, we can just kind of default to the, if character is big, character is bad. Hopefully not, right? But that's generally how it works throughout fighting game history. But so far, pretty dang cool in my book. So that's a bit of an early look at Bedman. Look forward to, say, like a combo guide more on the channel later on. But for now, this is about it. So I guess we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and play some Guilty Gear.
Yeah.